Hey everyone, welcome to week number 9 of Die Party Blood Dues. And hate to say it, but we are missing a player this week. But that doesn't matter because we've organized some stuff to play around his absence, and he's actually away for a pretty legitimate reason, so we can't get angry at him. But
Maybe you can't, but I can get angry at anything.
I know you can, Wreckage. It's fine.
I'm angry. I'm gonna take it out on you guys.
Oh, Graham said something. That's weird.
Mean green today.
Oh no, leave him alone.
I'm just indifferent.
Alright, so let me go around and introduce who we actually got playing today. I don't actually have a slide for the fact that Engellard's not here, but that's whatever. So first up, we have Wreckage, who will be playing the role of Roland.
Hi.
Thank you for actually saying something. Up next, we have Brian playing the role of Ansel.
Hello, hello.
And I will be taking the role of Walzer, along with half the brain of Pike. The other half of the brain will be played by Graham, who is also our GM.
I haven't seen much of Pike lately.
No, he's been pretty injured and
He's
relaxing.
been, he's been injured.
Yeah. And that's Engelard is out. He's at moving house and doing wedding stuff. So
He's getting married to his house.
yeah.
Yep, that's what he. Yep.
That's what he's doing. So yeah, I have been instructed that I will be doing the recap today. So let's get started. The first thing that happened we last week was we came back and we joined Walzer in his sweet snow-fueled battle with some orcs. Needless to say, they chased off most of them, and they killed, I'm going to say 2, and captured 1. I could be wrong on those numbers. We did lose a couple of banditos to sweet arrows. And we then proceeded to make our way over to the wagon where we couldn't, for the life of us, kill any of the guards.
It's pretty rough. It was rough stuff.
It was pretty rough. We ended up winning at the cost of Figs taking a severe pounding, a severe wound
To the chest.
to the chest, and due to my medicine skill, I was able to, I don't know, sort of put him together.
Stabilize him enough to get to the caves.
Yeah, stabilize him enough, and then it was I forget his name. Biden's. Biden's.
Joe Biden. No, Buster.
No, the dwarf. It was his idea to take
Valar.
them. Valar, that's it. Valar to take him to the Caves of Chaos, where they actually would have people there who would be able to do a lot more than Walzer could. On the other side of the fence, we had.
Well, you missed some stuff about Walzer.
Yeah, we'll go back to that. We'll go back to that.
Good.
On the other side of the fence, during that whole event happening, Roland and Engelard were investigating, or like trying to find a way to get the wizard, the evil wizard, I forget his name now, in the town to
Leoland?
Leoland. Yeah, that's
Not
the
a
Is
wizard.
not an evil wizard.
Okay, well, that's what they think he is. They think he's
No,
an
we
evil
think he's working with the evil wizard.
Okay, calm down, baby.
Shh.
They wanted to get him to actually use the put him in a situation where he would use the mirror and then kick down his doors and arrest him, and then they would have an understanding of what the mirror actually was. But during this whole planning, the backup that we actually wrote to Thistle Burrows to receive arrived. It was
Murray.
Murray,
Beaumont, right?
Murray, and a gentleman named Ansel, who is now our new player called Brian, and they were sort of seduced by tea and cookies.
Yeah.
By Leland to come to their house, and then shenanigans happened, and they got into a battle with the town guard when they kicked in the door, due to this whole planning.
They drank some really good tea.
That's true. They did drink that tea that gave him extra constitution. I don't know, something
super
like that.
wisdom.
Yeah. And that whole thing went down. There was a series of really awkward events where Roland and Engelard man-sandwiched Leland down a flight of stairs. Don't ask me why that happened. One of the little people that... God, what are they fucking called?
Halfling.
The mutes.
Halfling.
One of the
acolytes.
One of the acolytes ended up getting skewered.
Yeah.
And then both of them ended up getting arrested, and the mirror was taken possession of. Then we switched back to Walzer. Walzer and the remaining banded troops basically went to the Caves of Chaos. They traveled there with the injured Figs, and upon arrival, they were greeted by the sight of, I guess, sort of emissaries of each of the races coming out that were living at the Caves of Chaos.
Sure.
To
some
meet
sort of guard or emissary came out to see what was the commotion.
Yeah, and Walzer happened to spy someone who looked very much like Andrew, his father, staying there, who then proceeded to do that whole Scarface thing of like looking down at him from above and then turning around and walking away. Walzer played coy with everyone around him to see if he can get more information. There was no more information to get. We then swapped back to the other side of the river, and it turns out that when they arrested Leoland, they took too long to interrogate him, and I want to say a male dwarf who was in the actual male elf, not dwarf, who was in the mirror, who that Leoland was talking to, came and got him out of prison. Then they said, well, fuck it, let's go interrogate the final mute man that's there. And they ended up having a series of conversations over a pen and paper. Roland attempted to threaten him with explosives. And I guess that's where we left off. Something about Roland wanting to make a love potion to feed to this mute. I don't know, something like that.
There was a number of ideas that got tossed around.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're
including Graham's favorite, magic peas.
Yeah.
Magic peas.
And Ansel got a magic bath in the river as well.
That's true. Yes, he did get. We finally found a use for that spell to clean the disgusting Ansel.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Yeah. The last thing that happened was we faded out slowly from Roland and Engelard questioning the mute acolyte. Do you have any specific questions you want to have asked, Roland?
Well, no. Engelard was doing the asking.
Yeah.
And I believe that the acolyte was being like completely stonewalled anyway. Like we weren't gonna get anything, no matter what we said anyway.
Secure in his faith.
I mean, I would continue to try and shake that faith, but I imagine it would come to naught.
Okay. We're going to pick up 1 hour later. Yeah. Leoland has been freed from his prison. The mirror has been confiscated by him by the elf by Captain Snat named Aelin.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so it has been confiscated. Okay.
Yeah, he took it with him.
He took the mirror, and not only that, he has informed Captain Sinat that his review or his council meeting will be moved to the next day, first light.
I bathed myself.
Okay, good. Captain Sinat, he comes to see you at that, after you're done interrogating this mute and get nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And he tells you that the meeting has been moved up to tomorrow morning, and that he still wants you to be there.
Well, I will not hide the fact that it's obvious that the corruption is in the Inner Bailey. This review is a sham. What's the point?
He says, I agree, but our best bet of finding out any information is getting in there and cross-interrogating him across the table, as it were.
Do you want me to sneak in any explosives?
Well, do you have any room under there? And he kind of pokes your bundle of armor.
Oh, I can hide things in places. Don't you worry about that. It's if you want it to happen, because I don't know, explosives aren't subtle.
I'll be wearing my sword, so it might not hurt.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll work on. I obviously can't walk in there with my getup. I don't think I'll find the appropriate attire.
So he'll leave, or he'll go back to the guards tower and kind of get his information. He'll get his paperwork and his theories and his ideas and his maps and stuff.
So just like Cinderella,
Yeah.
the night before the ball, I'll spend my time getting my formal wear that I did not previously have ready, including places to hide at least 3 explosives.
Okay.
See, I'm imagining just your current getup, but with like a bow tie.
I could probably get away with that.
You know what I mean? Like you haven't
Yeah.
you spent all this time like picking and choosing. Like there's a montage of Roland
Yeah.
going through his
Yeah.
like wardrobe, but then he ends up on like his whatever he normally wears, but a bow tie.
Yeah.
I don't know that they do bow ties in this.
That's my
society.
problem with the whole thing. He invented
Sure they
a bow
do.
tie for this.
What are you wearing?
He invented the bow tie.
All right, I'll accept that. Roland invents the bow tie tonight.
Sweet.
That's where he hides his explosives. The explosives is the bow tie.
Yes,
And so-
I now have an explosive bow tie.
And so, what's the plan? It's still the same day, the 9th day, as it were.
So because
It's snowing.
it's snowing.
Still has been
Nice.
for the past 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Snow's pretty heavy on the ground, but people have been out in the morning, trying to clear it away from the road, but it's most people have given up by now.
Right. So I'm not going to be a part of all of this hearing and whatnot, because I'm still new to the situation. I think maybe I'm going to talk to Murray and the other halflings and see if I might be able to strike out and find the one person I've not met yet, being Walzer.
The Murray and Ravis, who were the 2 halflings who were there, Baimon, if you recall, fell. and
Right. He
was-
passed out and
He
got
got injured.
knocked out.
He got knocked out from the tee. Had some sort of negative reaction, and he was taken somewhere upstairs in Leolin's house. And after the interrogation took place, Murray and Ravis went back there to basically find him and collect him.
Mm-hmm.
Forgotten.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'd like to meet back up with the halflings and let them know that I'm interested in finding Walzer and seeing if by locating him, if we can complete the dispatch that their uncle had sent out to them.
Well, when you go back to Leolin's house and you walk inside, I mean, the door's not locked or anything.
Mhm.
It's pretty much exactly the way it was left. There are some people kind of milling about, talking about what's going on. You see the tavern keeper. You see the jeweler's wife, etc. When you go inside and you see the empty cups of tea on the coffee table. Make a willpower check for me.
A willpower check. Oh, okay.
This will be against your normal willpower. Tea has since worn off.
Sure. 10. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need that tea anymore.
I know everything.
No, you don't. The tea is what it is, but you're not worried about it. You
Okay.
forget that it was even that good. It probably wasn't even that good.
Sure.
Anyway, what do you do next?
So yeah, I'm going to. I want to check on Byman, make sure he's okay.
Okay. You go
And
upstairs
yeah.
and do what? It's a kind of it's a narrow house like you would see in like San Francisco or something.
Hmm.
And
My
so
house is huge though, so
well, these houses are it's one building and they're split up into three different domains.
mm.
You go upstairs. It's pretty much a short hallway with 4 rooms, 2 on each side. Um, you're kind of walking through. You look through the first one on the right. You see what appears to be some sort of probably the acolyte's chambers. There's 2 cots there and 2 chests. Nothing of note, it would seem. There's some sort of book on a podium in that room. You look to your left. You see the room that was ransacked by Engelard in the last episode. It has the furniture that's been covered with white drapes, and a armoire that has been looks like a hammer was taken to it, and whenever Leland got thrown into it. There's also a crate in the middle of the room with an iron stand on it that is empty. The stand has been knocked over. Open window. You go to the next room, or the further down the hallway, door to your right is closed. Door to your left has Baimon, who has been, put in a bed of, a very large bed. Looks even larger because he's a halfling. And you see Murray and Ravis are there. Murray has, despite the situation, has secured another cup of the tea for some reason.
Oh, fantastic.
It's pretty good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll say, hey Murray, I enjoyed that tea the last time I had a cup. Would you have any to spare for a friend?
What do you need it for? It's not, it's not that good now that I think about it. You probably don't want any.
Fucking
Say, are you
lying.
sure?
Yeah,
Come on,
I took,
Murray.
I took all of it actually. This is all like. He drinks the rest of the cup.
So he just drinks it right in front of me? What a dick.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, first thing I want to do, I'll say, Murray, I'm inquiring after Bym, and is he okay? Are his injuries severe?
Well, he said something a little while ago, something about fish. I guess I didn't really hear what he said. He seems to be pretty out of it. We're probably just gonna leave him here. I'm sure he's fine. Halflings aren't one to worry.
Okay. Well, Murray, if you're not worried, then I guess I won't worry either.
We're go-getters. We get things done.
So, speaking of getting things done, I think since Engelard is away and Roland must go to this hearing involving all the stuff that he's been dealing with, I think it might be in our best interest to ask around and see if we might know what direction we could travel in order to come across Walzer, to see if we might be of any assistance to him, and if he could be of any assistance to us.
Do you have any idea, or we don't know where Walzer even could be?
Well, you know the people in this town better than I. Would it be
Do I?
best?
He looks at Ravis.
Well, it seems to me that you do, but if not, we could always ask around. I'm sure the owner of the tavern might have an idea.
Well,
If
me
not
and
where
Ravis
Walzer is, who we could speak to.
we were actually today. We were going to the rest of the day. We were going to spend, mingling with the townsfolk and seeing what's what. Those dwarves that we met, I guess it was yesterday. They're gonna show us around. We're gonna mingle. We're gonna figure out all the information we can, and then we're gonna regroup with Engelard and Roland and you, and we're gonna figure all this out. Okay, but I don't think going to the end of the woods, full of monsters, is a good idea.
And why don't you think that's a good idea?
It's dangerous out there. We could die.
It's a good reason.
I don't want to die, Ansel. I'm sorry. I don't know if you got that impression on our first meeting, but I enjoy my life. And he pats his belly. And I'm not much good in a fight anyway, so you probably don't want me watching your back in the first place.
All right. Well, then I'll say to Murray. All right, you do your digging around town, but I'm already uncomfortable being around this many people. Even though, of course, as you said before, there aren't a whole lot of people in the keep. But I said I'm going to find what information I can and strike out on my own. That's how I work the best.
Ansel, we're friends. He comes up next to you, and he puts his hand on the small of your back because he's not very tall.
It's
says-
as high as he can reach.
As high as he can reach. And yeah. Ansel, we're friends. We've been friends for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be careful out there, okay?
I'm always careful.
He takes 2 fingers and points to his eye, and then points to your eyes, and he says, keep an eye out. You never know what could be out there. We'd be careful.
I'll say duly noted, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm always careful.
Good. That's good to know. I won't worry about you then. He gives you, and he pats you on the butt.
Good game.
Good game.
Okay, and then Murray and Ravis will exit the premises and go about their business.
All right, and I'll just quietly walk up to Baiman on the bed and sort of pat him on the head and say, "Don't worry, friend. You'll be fine." I take
Okay.
one last look at him and walk out the door.
Sure. Okay. What else what do you do after that? Let's get one more bit.
I'm actually kind of interested in the book that was in that first room, the
Yeah,
Acolytes room.
of course.
Can I take a little peek at that?
Sure, no one else is around.
All right.
It's a fairly large book. Like what we would think as a coffee table book.
Mm-hmm.
Most books in this kind of scenario are quite large, just by virtue of the cost it takes to make them. They make them big and hefty, and
Sure.
You want them to last, basically.
yeah, durable. Let's see. It's open right now. Do you want to close it to see the top, or to see the?
Well, before I close it, is there, without turning any of the pages, because I'm still, I guess, nervous to touch it. Not because I, think it's like evil or a trap or anything like that. I'm very aware that it's someone else's property.
Mm-hmm.
But can I glean any information, or can I even read what language it's written in? I mean, because I can only speak the common language, so and I don't really know that I can read all that well.
Then no, it's in a different script even. Can't even
Okay.
read the letters.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just close it and see if I can recognize anything on the cover.
Covers brown leather. It's got as you see, it's got like a belt buckle to clasp it closed.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the edge of the paper is got like gold leaf,
Sure.
and the corners are secured with brass. Corners. They're like brass fitting for the corners to keep the corners nice. It's protecting.
Is it an
There is-
exceptionally heavy book? Like how much weight does it have to it?
You give it a heft, it probably weighs 6 or 7 pounds by itself.
Okay. I think I'm going to let my curiosity get the better of me.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in my rucksack.
All right, you got it.
Oh, damn.
Sweet.
Then what?
All right, so I'm going to go head downstairs, and I'm going to talk to the owner of the tavern, or owner of the inn.
Okay. Well, the inn and the tavern are actually, they face each other across
Okay.
the town square.
So I was above the tavern, correct?
No. What makes you say that?
No. So I went.
You went to Leland's house.
Okay.
And
I
that
see.
was,
I see. My fault. Yeah. So I will go to the tavern and speak to the tavern owner to see if I can figure out, because I'm really curious about now that I've met Angellard and Roland and been mostly impressed with Angellard and kind of terrified of Roland. I'd like to see if I can find Walzer to see, like I said previously, if there's anything I can do to help with him, but mostly what he can do to help with the reason that I've come to the keep.
Okay, you go find your way to the tavern. You go inside. You see the two dwarves who you had. I guess you guys weren't there yet. That was when you went to. That was when you went to Leland's place. There are two dwarves in there that appear. They appear to be talking with two men that are armored. In a corner table. There's also a, kind of a burly barkeep there. He's he's got a mug, a tankard, and he's scrubbing it with a filthy towel.
Nice. So I'm going to, quietly make my way up to the bar and ask the barkeep, say, good sir.
What do you have?
Nothing for me right now. Just a question, if I may.
Shoot, I guess.
Okay. I'm looking for a man that supposedly rides a dragon. Do you know of whom I speak?
Walzer, can you jog my memory? Did you ever talk to this barkeep?
We were in the bar at some point.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if he knows your name, but
And
yeah,
I
he
did
was
used
in.
to. I
haven't
did
seen
use.
him.
I did
Go
used to bring Pike into buildings with me.
Right.
But I don't think he did in the keep.
I know I did with the.
He may have. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
He says, "Yeah, that sounds familiar. Haven't seen him around lately. I saw him. He came in here with that Engelard fellow and those two dwarfs over there." Points to the guys and two dwarves over there in the corner.
I say the dwarves over there talking with those armored men.
Yeah, they sure can drink, those dwarves. Ha! Slam.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. I guess I must speak to these dwarves then to glean the information that I seek. I appreciate your help. Unfortunately, I don't have any money to give the man, so
That's okay.
I will walk away.
Do you make any note that, or do you make any movement that would indicate that you have no money, like patting your pockets or something?
Yeah. I'm kind of like pull out like the insides of my pockets, and I'm like, sorry. But so I'm gonna head over to the dwarves.
Well, he'll say that to you. He'll say, "Looking for work?"
Oh, looking for work. I'll say, well, in a way, but I'm not quite sure what that work may yet be. It may not even involve earning money.
Well, if you need some extra coin, come find me. You look like a guy who knows how to handle himself.
I will keep that in mind, good sir. Thank you very much for the offer.
Okay.
And I'm going to head over to the doors, but I don't want to just like interrupt their conversation. I kind of want to hang back a bit. And
You're hovering hardcore. Right
yeah,
now.
it's like kind of like that creepy guy at the club who like
Waits his turn.
is
to
in
get
the
on that
corner by
booty.
like doesn't quite know when to hop into a conversation. Wants to see you like what I'm saying. Wants to see kind of what's going on and if it's even safe to talk to him.
They are talking about something stupid. Let's see. They're talking about I don't know what's something dumb. They're talking about red wine versus ale and their properties in getting plants to grow.
They're talking about getting plants to grow with ale or red wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that is a stupid conversation.
That's how drunk are they?
So there's 5 of them. There's 4 of them. There's 2 guards and 2 dwarves, and they're not particularly drunk. But neither one appears to know anything about nature or gardening. But neither one wants to let the others know that they don't know anything about it. So they're talking like they know what they're talking about. It's possible.
Okay. Well, I think I might actually interject because I'm almost offended that they would think that they could feed plant life with alcohol.
No. Flowers need red wine. Red wine comes from grapes. Grapes are plants. Plants are flowers. It's synergy, says one of the dwarves.
It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
Yeah, it's what they need. Trust me.
No, yeah. So I'm actually going to step up and say, are you having trouble growing your crops?
Crops? Says one of the
Sure.
dwarves. He
Sure.
says,
Are you having trouble growing wine or hops for your ale?
so one of the guards looks very his face kind of grows red and he says, yeah, definitely, of course. What you actually, you know what? No, we're good. We are expert growers of things.
I'll say, and what do you feed your grapevines?
Well, I, as an expert, feed my plants only the finest of ales. And the other human says, elbows him in the side. And he says, yeah, I've seen them, like big as, tallest buildings. Those plants, good plants.
And I sort of give him a confused look and say, so only ale makes these plants grow?
Yep.
Have you tried water, sir?
What, you think water's free?
It falls from the sky, does it not?
Yeah. Trust me, water doesn't help. We we tried that. We tried water. It's it's a good try. It worked for a little while, but ale's the only way to go. And he gives a stern look to the dwarves.
I'll say, if I may, sir, just try this once, or over a small amount of time.
One of the dwarf will speak over you, and he'll slam his tankard down on the table. And he says, "Ale's for humans, goddammit!"
And I'll say, I agree. Plants cannot get drunk.
Wine,
Plants need
however,
water.
that's what the plants need.
This is a good
And
conversation.
I sort of put my hand on my forehead and start rubbing it in an annoyed fashion. And I'll look at the dwarf.
The other dwarf will be like, "Do you need something?"
I'll say,
You've got my friend here all in a tizzy.
I'll say, yes, I do need something. I need you to first stop feeding your plants alcohol. It doesn't do anything for them but hurt them. I promise you. These are things that I know.
Mr. thinks he knows stuff about plants.
I have lived in the woods and the forest for many a year. I have grown my own food. I have grown my own grapes for wine. And I have never once fed them alcohol in order to make them thrive. But that, good sirs, is besides the point. I was sent over here by the good barkeep. I'm looking for a man that rides a dragon. Have you seen him?
And he says, the dwarf will say, yeah, we know him. Walzer is his name.
Yes.
Came here with him. Yeah, we're pretty good friends with the dragon rider. He makes a pointed look at the humans across the table.
I'm going to let them know. I'll say, may I introduce myself? My name is Ansel. With me is my friend Willie, and I point to my bow. And I say, we received a dispatch, or I should say, myself and my friends received a dispatch requesting help. And I believe that this Walzer may be able to help in my situation. Unfortunately, no one seems to know where he is. I have met with Engelard and Roland, yet they were very coy, and there was a bit of a kerfuffle earlier, and we didn't really get the chance or opportunity to talk about it. And so now that they are both occupied, I'm trying to take things into my own hands and locate this Walzer for myself.
And he says, the main dwarf who keeps talking, the second dwarf only said the one thing a second ago. The main dwarf that has been talking, the blonde bearded one, will say, go ahead and have a seat. Go ahead and have a seat. We're going to finish this up, this debate, the friendly debate that we've had going on over here, and we'll be right to you.
I will thank him for the invitation, and I will pull up a chair.
Okay. 3 hours go by. No, just kidding.
How do they? What I need to know is how these guys feel about feeding their plants nitroglycerin.
Well, you're not there, so you'll never know. You'll have to ask them yourself. Okay, no. 5 minutes go by. You learn them some stuff about growing plants. Let's see.
Do I get dumber from listening to their conversation?
Maybe. No.
Yeah.
No. The two guardsmen will get back to work like they were supposed to be doing a long time ago, and will leave the tavern. And says, so, as soon as they leave, as soon as the door closes, the dwarf that has not been doing a lot of the talking has a black beard. He says, name's Gimak. This is Burr. Distinct change in face and tone from him, and he says, you would do well keeping, or you would do well keeping who you know a secret around here. It's dangerous. He says, especially with those ones, meaning Walzer and Engelard.
And I'll say, what danger could come of knowing these men?
It's a long story, and Burr will pipe in and says, go something like this. And he tells you a very long story about how Walzer now has a fake bounty on his head for murdering Boswell Thistleburrows, and a bunch of other things about how Walzer is being portrayed as as a bandit, and he's moonlighting as a bandit, and the whole keep thinks that Walzer is a bad guy.
I'll say, interesting. I'm going to ask them, what was Walzer's purpose for masquerading as a bandit?
Captain Snat sent him back out there to try and find these so-called Caves of Chaos, a den of, monsters and evil and nastiness.
And where do these Caves of Chaos lie?
It's a good question. We've been trying to figure that out since we got here. We have nobody knows apparently.
Is there a camp that these bandits have?
Yeah, Captain Snat should know where that is. Roland and Engelard should know as well. Ansel, was it?
Yes.
Why are you here exactly? Why should we be telling you all of this?
I arrived with 3 of my halfling friends from the woods, and they had received a dispatch from their uncle saying that trade routes had been disrupted, and that help was needed in the keep, and that we were to contact Walzer and Engelard. I have made contact with Engelard. I have met Roland, his companion. The only one I have not met is Walzer, which is why I'm looking for Walzer now, to see what it is he can do to help with our situation.
You said, well, here's the thing. You see, about 3 weeks ago now, a shipment of gold ore and weapons was stolen near here. Near here, distance-wise, but underground, along the trade routes. We had a shipment going from the Gilvag stronghold of the Vale, which you're familiar with,
right,
and the Nalkar stronghold down south. Now that shipment was stolen, vanished without a trace. Nearest place there, right here, the keep on the Borderlands. A few weeks before that, humans from Fort Mitchell and the Vale stormed into Gilvag stronghold and ransacked all of their houses' basements. King Lord Ragni is none too happy about that. He's planning to invade the keep on the Borderlands. He's, we are traders we are merchants by trade. That's what we do. That's what we have no house, no affiliation, and so we were sent along with Walzer and Engelard as sort of dwarven emissaries to keep an eye on them and keep track of their progress. But Lord Ragni will invade this stronghold to find that that gold ore and those weapons. And Walzer and Engelard are trying not to let that happen because that will kickstart a war, essentially. A war between dwarves and humans that will probably span the country.
So this gold is missing, or do we know the location?
The gold was taken about a mile from here.
Mm-hmm. About a mile south?
About a mile south.
Interesting.
And he says, Walzer, trying to find the location of the Caves of Chaos. What reason is that again, Walzer?
What actually happened was I went to the bandits because I believed that they were the best lead to find the gold. And what actually
thought
came...
the bandits took the gold.
Yeah, so, and during my time at the bandit camp, I actually and everyone knows this, right? So this is what I reported back to Senat.
Sure.
That I noticed that they were taking the supplies somewhere. And in my mind, that was where the gold would be, because it seems like they have two camps.
Sure.
Where they store all of their ill-gotten goods, and where they temporarily store all the ill-gotten goods, and like a forward base camp where they keep their main bandit force. And I wanted to go back so that I could find, or so that Walzer could find the second camp where they keep all their stuff.
Yeah.
That was the intention, yeah.
Okay. So they tell you that.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to decide if I head south just because of the snow. It has been snowing heavily, but I still think that I might be able to pick up some sort of trail. So I think I'm going at...
That will most likely be impossible to find any sort of trail.
Okay. Well, I think at this point, in any case, I'm going to thank the door. I'll say, thank you very much for your time, good sirs. I'm going to remind them to discontinue feeding their plants with ale.
Okay.
To try water.
They laugh at you, this guy.
Water and sunlight, good sirs. I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk back up to the bartender, thank him again for his help. Let him know that if I'm looking, I'll say, thank you again for your offer, sir. If I need some coin in my pocket, I know who to come to. And
here, let me give you a piece of advice.
Okay.
If that no good cheater across the street there asks you for work, don't take him up on it. He's a liar and a cheat. If you need work, you come find me, okay?
Are you referring to the innkeep, sir?
Aye, him exactly.
Duly noted.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and I'll walk out the door.
All right.
I think at this point, actually, you know what? He's piqued my interest.
Okay.
And I'm going to go talk to the innkeeper.
Okay. You go into the inn. The bottom floor is much, it looks oddly similar to the to the tavern, except that it's a 4-story building.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a front desk with a bunch of cubbies on the back wall for keys, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a common area right when you walk in. There's nobody there right now because they really only serve breakfast and supper for those who have rooms in the inn. Okay, but
Okay.
there's a man there who looks oddly similar to the tavern keep. And says, "All right then. What do you get? The room? You need a room?"
I'll say, hello, sir. I've just been at the tavern.
The tavern. What kind of
Yes.
lies do they tell you over there?
They're trying to water their plants with alcohol, and it made me feel uncomfortable.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like that.
So I'll introduce myself to the innkeep. I'll say, hello, my name is Ansel. I'm new to the keep, but it's my first time here.
Well, I imagine you need a room, don't you?
Not so much. What I really need is information.
Well, information doesn't come free, Not around here.
Well, sir, I don't have anything monetarily that I can give you.
Oh, looking for work?
Possibly. What did you have in mind?
Well, here. This is the thing. Is that tavern keeper across the street there is a no good, rotten scoundrel, and he slept with my wife, and he called me fat once, and I'm gonna show him what's what. This right here, and he puts a little vial of had it ready. This little vial of what looks like herbs on the counter,
Okay.
and he says, "Only thing I need you to do, I'll give you 3 silver. Okay, it's a lot of cash. Okay, 3 silver. You take this. You know the tavern keeper. I know him. I've known him for years. Hated him for years, and I know that he loves his honey mead. Okay, so you get in there, find his honey mead. You pour this in there, and then just sit back and watch the magic.
And now, can I recognize what's in this vial? Can I
And
discern what's in there?
you don't have any herbalism, so no.
Right. Okay.
Mhm. That one missing skill that you need.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. All right. Well,
All
I'm
you
going to
have
ask
to do.
him.
Simple job, simple work for simple money. Three silver. What do you say?
I say, will these herbs cause the man any harm?
Yep.
Well, what kind of harm
Not bad of harm. It's good fun. Okay.
is this going to kill this man?
No, definitely not. Good heavens, no. I'm no murderer.
All right. I'm going to take the vial
Okay.
and head back to the tavern.
All right.
God damn it.
Ah, friend, back again. I see. He looks like the same man.
Say yes. I wanted to talk to you about that work you had offered for me.
Yes, of course.
What did you have in mind?
Well, let me tell you what. That innkeeper across the road there is a no good, dirty, rotten scoundrel. He,
Groundhog Day.
he what did he do? He spit on me once.
Trying to make something up on the spot.
Yeah, he spit on me one time, and he pushed my wife down. That's what he did. Yeah, and I got to get back at him. So what I want you to do, I got some stuff here. He puts a vial of herbs on the counter,
Okay.
and he says, I want you to take this and put it, make whatever he likes his wine. He does, right? So I want you to find his barrel of wine that he drinks from. I want you to put this inside. Just sit back and watch the magic.
All right. I see that this man has slighted you, sir, and I hate to see that happen to such a good man. So I will take your vial.
Okay. Yeah, three silver. How about?
That sounds good to me. So this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to. I have both vials. I'm going to go back to the inn. When I go to the inn, however, in the innkeeper's wine, I'm going to put the herbs that the innkeeper gave me into his wine.
Okay.
After I've done that, I'm going to go back to the tavern, and I'm going to put the herbs that the tavern keep gave me into his ale. So basically, they've just poisoned themselves.
Well, it's not as simple as that because maybe the honey mead barrel is there behind the bar, but the innkeeper, on the other hand, doesn't have wine on tap hanging out around in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So what's the plan?
Okay, so the plan is first I'll go back to the innkeep,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell him that I managed to get his vial into the barkeep's honeymead, and ask him.
Good boy.
I'll say, how about a celebratory glass of wine?
Oh yeah, sounds good. All right, I love that wine. All right, okay. He goes and gets some bottle of wine, and we'll pour you one and pour him one, and there's much more in his glass than yours.
Okay, and is there any sort of like ornate decoration or something behind him that I can ask him about?
Of course, a distraction.
Yes.
You say, look, a distraction.
Yeah. And as he is not paying attention, I will shake the vial that he gave me into his glass of wine.
Sure. Go and make a. So what are you saying exactly?
I'm giving him his own poison.
Yeah, but how are you distracting him exactly?
I'm going to say I've noticed that that ornate wall hanging behind you, sir. Could you tell me a little bit about the history behind it, and maybe point out some details that I may not be able to know about?
Yeah. Okay. He begins to talk about, such and such,
Sure.
such and such elaborate wall hanging.
Yeah, and while his back is turned, I have now
Got it.
poisoned his glass.
Yep. All right. He finishes what he was saying and turns back and drinks his wine in a mighty gulp.
I sit back and watch the magic happen.
Okay. He he smacks his lips and good stuff, isn't it?
Very good, sir.
And then the look on his face turns from one of very smug satisfaction of a job well done. His smile slowly turns to a frown, and he grabs his belly and says, "Oh God!" And then he runs away, out.
All right. So I'm going to make my exit at that point
Okay.
and head back over to the tavern.
You hear coming from around back the horrible nightmarish diarrhea sounds.
Head
Man,
okay.
what type of plant does that instantly, man? Shit.
I don't know. I don't have an herbalism skill.
No, he doesn't.
So I'm gonna head back to the tavern and say, "Good barkeep.
Oh yes.
The job is complete."
Oh, good boy, good boy.
You should have seen the look on his face.
Good stuff, strong stuff. I've been planning
Thanks.
that one for years.
It's a lesson he won't soon forget.
Really, he was planning that complicated plan for years, was he?
That's right.
Don't mock them. Don't mock the normal man. All right, Roland.
I will.
So I'll say to the barkeep, in keeping with our Groundhog's Day theme, along with those three pieces of silver, how about a celebratory glass or flagon of honey mead?
How about a celebratory flask of honey mead? He pours up some honey mead.
And then I notice the large reflective mirror behind him.
Yeah, of course.
Common to many taverns. And I'll say, "That's an impressive mirror, sir. How did you come by that? It's so large. Was it made specifically?"
I made it. I didn't make it. I came with the building. About 300 something, and then he talks about something.
Yes, the wood carved frame is quite interesting, and as he's admiring his mirror, I will put the vial that he gave me, its contents, into his honey mead.
Okay. He turns
and
around
we'll have
and
a toast.
You clink glasses or tankards rather, and he downs his.
And I sit back and watch the magic happen.
His smile of smug satisfaction slowly turns to a frown, and he looks at you and he says, "Oh God!" and grabs his belly and runs out towards the back.
Are the dwarves still in the tavern?
Yes.
I'm going to walk back over to the dwarves.
What was that all about?
Well, I'm going to have a very serious look on my face and say, "As you can see, I'm not someone to be trifled with. Tell me where I can find Walzer."
What did you do to him?
Don't you worry about that. If you tell me what I need to know, you won't ever have to find out what happened.
So, Walzer, do the dwarves know that you're where you are and where the bandit camp? I mean, they know that Captain Sinat knows.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know.
We'll say no. Yeah.
They definitely would not know the location.
Yeah.
I mean, the job that we have given them is to get drunk with people every night. We're not going to give them
Well,
specifics.
Did they get the location of the bandit camp from the two that they got drunk with?
No, I think they ended up not being very.
Jasper, no,
Yeah.
you came and told Captain Sinet where the bandit camp was.
Okay, so that's the only way that they know. All right then. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But they would know that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
they say
Sinet.
we really don't know. Captain Sinet knows though.
Say, all right, for your sake, I hope Captain Sinet can tell me the information that I need to know. And I give him one more look and I say, don't feed your plants alcohol, and walk out the door.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, that's enough of that's Ansel hour. Let's go to.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut to Walzer.
Hello.
Walzer, it's 1 hour later from when we saw the shamans of the various monstrous races in one of the healing caves, lowering the injured Figs into a pool of water with an altar and saying a bunch of monstrous mumbo jumbo.
Mm. Oh, that's right. They did do that, didn't they? Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing? What's the plan now? I'm not sure what Walzer's thinking at this point.
Well, right now, I mean, he's distracted by his father. Well, what he thinks to be his father.
Sure.
So his main course of action is to try and investigate who the humans at this place are.
By doing what? The humans appear to be stationed on the very top. If you remember, the Caves of Chaos are tiered, 3 levels.
Yeah. Well, then I'd ask about, like, why are the humans at the top? And
Who are you asking?
Well, okay, so is there anyone from the Caves of Chaos who have engaged us in conversation at all?
No, the only humans you've seen are the wizard and the man who you think is your father, and they are not down here.
Okay. What about any of the monsters?
Just a bunch of goblins and a hobgoblin or 2, and
any of them speaking Beach Christian?
Not that you know.
Is Biggs talking to any of them?
Figs.
No, not Biggs. Oh, Figs or
Buster.
Buster, yeah.
No, Buster is keeping to himself. He's keeping near Figs.
Mm-hmm.
Figs appears to speak multiple languages.
All right. I guess I'll go approach Figs. I mean, like, I'll see how he's doing and that sort of stuff. So.
Okay. He's got blood all over his mouth, like when it was coming out.
Mm.
Hasn't really washed that off. It would seem maybe forgotten, or maybe hasn't gotten around to it, or no one thought to do it for him. He is submerged up to his neck in the spring.
Okay. Like, how you doing, Figs? You look a little better than almost dead.
Just Walzer, you made it.
I'm more surprised that you made it. Glad to see you're recovering.
But Buster told me what happened.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shit show.
And he says, "What happened to the goods?"
Well, we took them as much as we could, but your priority was number 1 priority.
No! And he slams the water. And he says, "You need to go back and get those goods. Those I guess it was fruit and vegetables. You need to get that food."
Do you want to remind me where we left that stuff? Because I'm sure we just abandoned the wagons.
You did, yeah.
We did try to take them into the forest at some point.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
It didn't work out, no. And so I say
you had to carry Figs at one point. 2 people had to carry Figs. You couldn't carry a crate.
Yeah.
So there are 6 bandits left in this group, right?
Yeah.
Buster, Gilbert, Sirion, who's taken an arrow and has broken his bow, Jeffrey, Mikhail, and Udo. And Figs, obviously, who I didn't name. Yeah, you guys left the crates in the woods.
Okay. What does Buster do at his reaction to?
Buster says, "Walzer, we aren't safe here." He says in hushed tones. He says, "The only reason the monsters let us operate because we bring them a share. If we don't bring them anything, they have no reason to keep us alive.
Well, then maybe you should take the ones you can carry and bring back as much stuff as you can.
He says, I will, but... Well, it's only been like an hour or so, and he says, we will, but you're going to have to keep an eye on him.
Oh, I will. Don't worry about that.
Okay. And Buster will leave and go gather the rest of his guys.
All right.
Meanwhile, there are monsters milling about. You see them.
Okay.
You see a goblin pick a fight with another goblin.
I'm not so worried about the goblins or the hobgoblins because I've seen them before. There's the one that I haven't seen before. It's like a...
There should be two, the hyena men and the ram men.
Okay. I've seen the rat man before. Not the rat man, the lizard man.
Ram. There are no lizard here.
Oh, okay. Right.
Ram men like sheep,
Yeah.
like rams. And hyena men.
Do
And
they appear intelligent?
as intelligent as the goblins.
Okay.
They have armor and wield weapons.
Okay.
But they have rams' faces and hyenas' faces, and they appear to not interact with anybody but themselves.
Okay. I lower my voice and sort of lean into Figs. I'm like, do you understand what they're saying?
Says
What's the mood of the room?
He says, dissent, mutiny.
Mutiny to who?
It's the humans.
You mean on the 3rd level?
Aye.
Is there a way that I could get in touch with the humans at the 3rd level?
He says, I haven't talked to Faramane in probably 3 years.
I'm sure he would need to be made aware of this.
He says, and he says, he kind of, he coughs. And he says, if the caves fall apart, right now they're all united under one cause, but that cause is dwindling. Faramane's become old and he's not able to exact the same control over the monstrous races. He says if they hint that, or if there is any hint that Faramane is not in control, then they'll disperse and kill each other and kill the bandits and attack the keep.
Is there anyone here, and I sort of gestured to the room a little bit, like maybe with my head, so that no one becomes aware that you can talk to right now about getting me an audience?
He says, no, all of the leaders, they stay in their caves.
Or can we talk to someone here about getting in contact with one of the leaders and jump this up?
As humans, we aren't necessarily welcome. Besides, as business partners, he says they have the numbers. I'm not a popular figure around here, Walzer. No.
Are you able to translate for me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I stand up. Is there anyone around? Like, if I just take a good look at the room, is there anyone here that's clearly sort of like stoic or anything like that?
Well, when you look around, someone else enters this cave, and it appears to be a yellow-skinned hobgoblin attended to by 2 little goblins. And his eyes grow wide, and he says, that's Snee. He's one of the leaders.
Okay. How do you guys feel about taking a quick break?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, guys, we'll be back in 3 to 5. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for hour number 2, week 9 of Blood Jews, and we'll be able to talk to some yellow hobgoblins. All right.